And I would like us to look at GitOps sooner or later.
Tell us what GitOps is, because you keep saying I'm not going to talk about that, but I don't know what it is. Is this like you let your Git do your ops? What's GitOps?
Okay. So GitOps is a way of implementing deployments. So you have continuous deployments, you're continuously deploying code, but it's a way of implementing continuous deployments in cloud-native applications. So if you're using Kubernetes, you're cloud native, or at least that's the tagline. And what GitOps does, it allows you to define everything about your application using Git, including which version you should be running in production. So if we were using GitOps with changelog, there would be a commit for every single deploy, which would need to be approved, merged somewhere, so we would roll out the latest version.
Gotcha.
So you're basically versioning what runs in production. To some extent, we already are doing that because all our YAML that defines all the changelog services is in Git.
Right.
What we don't have, we don't apply those changes by some sort like an automated system. It's either you or me that says apply, but we have make targets which apply all those things, and that's how we roll out changes. But for the app, which changes a lot more often, we don't run commands, or we don't have a CI running commands every single time there's an update. We don't do that. The app, we have Keel that automatically updates whatever's running in production.
And why would the GitOps advocates say that we're doing it wrong, quote unquote? Is because they want that history. They want that to be like an atomic aspect of their application, deployments, to be like explicit, atomic, logged things. Is that why?
Yes, that's one of the reasons. The other reason, the more important one, is you always know what you're running in production. So if I asked you what version of the app we're running now in production, you say master. But master always changes.
Sure.
So imagine if you're deploying 100 instances of your app. Just imagine about that for a second. If you're deploying 100 app instances, by the time the 90th instance gets spun up, if it's looking at master, it may pull a different version because master may have changed during the deployment. And if you have many developers pushing lots of code and master always keeps changing, then you could have multiple versions of your application running and you wouldn't even know it.
Gotcha.
Not to mention that when something crashes and master has changed, again, the version that you thought you were running will change because you pull the latest image.